Welcome to Worthington Home. I'm Chris. So I have an interesting day planned today and I'm excited about it. I'm going to start out by going to St. Paul's Thrift Shop in Wallingford, Connecticut. They have limited hours and days where they're there. So I'm excited to check it out, and that's going to be my first stop. Then I'm going to head back to Plainville Goodwill, which I had been there on Tuesday because I thought I had bought 4 teacup and saucers for a set, and it turns out there were only 3 saucers, and one of the pieces I thought was the saucer is actually a small plate. So I want to see if they still have the saucer. My guess is they do. They had quite a few, so I want to check that out. And then I'm meeting my husband around 3 o'clock. We're going to Golden Gavel auctions in East Windsor, Connecticut. They have these huge lots of beautiful glassware up for auction, and I'm just curious if there's any interesting deals to be had up there. So we're gonna check those out, and we may or may not stay for the actual auction. We might just, have left bids in place, depending on what we find and how much we want to actually acquire things. My husband thinks we're better off with left bids so we don't get too carried away in the moment. And by we, he means me. I get carried away in the moment and end up paying more for things than, intended. So it might just be an extra little security against doing that. So that's the plan for the day, and I plan to share some footage with you so you can check it out too if you're interested. So I think it's time to get going. I didn't take any video for you inside the store, and I do apologize for that, but it was a very small store and I didn't want to make a scene. I didn't want to draw a lot of attention to myself. The women who were working there, who are volunteers, were so nice, so friendly, but I only bought a 50-cent brass frame, which I really like. And then I went across the street to Half Moon Cafe to get an incredibly disappointing breakfast sandwich that took 20 minutes to make. So yeah, I'm ready to move on to my next stop. I wasn't going to stop off at Habitat for Humanity Restore, but I was like 0.3 miles away, and it seemed silly not to just take a quick peek. So, little unexpected stop. Let's see what they have. $25 is a great price for a Hitchcock dining room table. It only needs screws. I wonder if this is swung glass. I was learning about this at the old Curiosity Shop. My mother had teacups just like these, a little bit different, but they're very pretty. I love this brass stool or plant stand, but they wanted $60 for it, which is more than I wanted to pay. It's a really cute little relish tray. They always have a lot of pretty glass at this store. I like that upholstered headboard. This table could be interesting in the right space. Definitely has some potential. $89. I love this black and gold lamp. If I had a place for it, I would have snatched it up. I don't know what the price was though. This piece I thought was fine, but they wanted so much money for it. For just wicker and glass, $210 seems steep to me. And of course, this little piece that I'd love to do over, still $48 and still not worth it, but I love these pulls. And I think with some TLC, this could be a great piece. Look, it's got a chipped corner. Yeah, not worth that amount. They have all of these cabinets that were pulled out of somebody's house for $800, and they do appear to be solid wood, but I have to say, that still seems high to me. I wouldn't want to pay that myself, although my husband feels like that's actually pretty reasonable. Okay, let's see if Goodwill has my saucer. What do you think? I say yes. And there it is. Phew! They have a few saucers left, so I'm in luck. 99 cents. That's a good thing. This is a very pretty platter. Just looking around. I saw those bowls on Tuesday, so nothing new happening there. Just still want to check them out again. I see a lot of familiar pieces from the other day, but what do you want? Spend, what, 2 days? These are very pretty. They have a beautiful shine to them, made in Japan. $3.99. I'm gonna put them back for now. I really love this golden black tray. It's so interesting. But it has a chip in the corner, and I'm not doing that again, not even for $3.99. And there's some different books I didn't see before, including these two that are coming home with me. Good news. I found that little teacup saucer I was looking for, and I picked up a few other things as well. So I'll show you when I get home. Well, I've had a very interesting morning, and the day is not over yet, but I thought that I would pause and just check in with you about what's been going on. So I started the day at a thrift store in Wallingford. It was St. Paul's thrift store, I believe. And I didn't put together that it was actually the church that my youngest brother works at as the organist and music director. So I was so surprised when I pulled in there and I realized, oh my gosh, this is his church. He wasn't working at the time that I got there. He goes in later in the day, but it was funny, and I was able to chat with the volunteers who are working the store all about the church and about being his older sister, and I left them a funny message to give to him. But anyway, it was a really cute store. It was very small but cute. I found a really nice coat, but it was too similar to a coat I already have, so I didn't buy it. So all I'm left with was this little frame for 5x7 photos. That was all of 50 cents. So a little memento of my day. So then I unexpectedly decided to go to the Habitat for Humanity Restore in Wallingford. I'd been there very recently. There is nothing much there. I find that their prices are so weirdly inconsistent. There are certain things that are less money than you'd expect, and then they have some things that are just way overpriced. I wonder, what is their strategy there? I find I get very impatient with places that are inconsistently priced. You should be able to essentially anticipate what a price is going to be for something. So then I did what I really intended to do, which was to go back to the Goodwill in Plainville to see if I could find the little teacup to the set that I have that I had accidentally picked up the wrong size plate thinking it was a teacup. Anyway, I found it, and I picked up a few other things on the way. So I'll show you what I got. I bought this commemorative 50 years Fire King pie plate. It's in really good shape. I was fanatical about checking the condition of things after having made some errors over and over again, buying things with cracks or chips. This is in great shape. It's $3.99, and I'm very happy with it. This very pretty teapot. This was $7.99. Again, it's in excellent condition. It's ironstone and it's blue grapes, made by Harmony House. So I thought this was a really nice little piece to have for my next auction, or maybe not the next auction, one of the upcoming auctions. I wouldn't be me if I didn't buy 2 books. I actually don't have any collected poems of Emily Dickinson in my library, which seems so strange. So now I do for $2.99. And I bought The Prophet by Khalil Gibran. I have never actually read that book in its entirety. So glad that I can now. I also bought this really pretty bowl, very mid-century modern, with the leaf pattern and the gold accents. It's in excellent condition. It's a really nice heavy piece. It's not signed on the bottom. It was $5.99. I really like it. I found this very heavy, looks like a relish tray that's actually in a silver tray. So here's the holder for it. And then this piece sits inside it like that. Isn't the pattern kind of cool? It's very cubist. And it's in excellent condition. I'll need to polish up the handles a little bit. You can see they're not perfect, but they're also not damaged. So I was happy to find that. There was a second one that was just the glass insert, but I've never sold that before. I don't know how it will be received. So I figure let's start with one and see how we do. Then I bought, I think 5 of these really cute glasses with a handle. I don't know if they're mugs. I don't know what you would call them exactly, but they're really cute. They were 99 cents each, and one of them has a marking. Unfortunately, stupid Goodwill puts their tags right over the original label, and then the original label gets damaged. I hate that. But one of them has the actual, here's the one that has the actual label that you can still read. So it says Independence Stoneware, Japan. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. There's a glare. But anyway, so one of the labels remains intact, and they're all in perfect condition. And I thought they would look fantastic in somebody's kitchen decor. I also bought this glass mug. These are great for beer, although my husband has one and he uses his for coffee. And this is marked, I don't know, it's made in France. Okay, I need to stop trying to read things while I'm also filming, because none of you want to watch me squint like a crazy old lady while I try to read this undecipherable wording on these things. So what I'll do instead is stop doing that, and I'll just actually put the item in the description box, and you don't have to see me squint and be a nut. Does that sound good? I bought 3 of these milk glass goblets with raised up patterns. There's some grapes and leaves. They're in really good shape. Here's the third one. Be so nice to have a set of 4, but there were only the 3, but I think they're great, and hopefully they'll end up in the home of someone who will enjoy them. Oh, did I tell you that the milk glass was $1.99 each? This was $1.99. These were 99 cents each. And I picked up this salt and pepper shaker in the same kind of milk glass pattern for $1.99 each. They're in really good condition. Even the tops are in really good condition. And I think they are all part of the same set. If they're not, they pretty much could be, because they look exactly the same. I think they must be. Very cute. And last but not least, the one thing I went for, I got this for 99 cents. This was the last little teacup I needed. I so wanted to have a set of 4, and I picked up the wrong plate, so now I have the right one. And it was really interesting because they had so much of this pattern available when I went on Tuesday, and today is Thursday, and it was all gone. All that was left actually were these saucers. So I'm really glad I picked up what I did when I did, and I'm really glad there were some saucers left so that I could complete the set. So that's what I have, and my next stop is to meet my husband up at the auction in, I think it was East Windsor, and see if there's anything that might be worth picking up there. I don't know, but it will be interesting to find out. I will certainly keep you posted. Okay, we have arrived at Golden Gavel Auctions, and that's Eric right in front of me.
And we're headed inside. This place is really big, much bigger than it seemed from the outside. All of this is glass that glows under UV light. It's a whole table full of it. And there's lots of other gorgeous pieces. The two blue vases that we're looking at right now were hand blown, and I know that because we turned them over and we could see the markings. I don't know that I've ever seen so much beautiful glass in one space. It was just from one corner of the room to the next, just chock full of glass in every size, shape, and color that you could ever imagine. And I will tell you, it really makes me understand how much I have to learn when it comes to glass, and especially when it comes to possibly purchasing glass to resell, which really is a different kind of skill set altogether. I've gone to many, many auctions, and I've always gone knowing exactly what I want, exactly how much I'm willing to pay for it. I've done my homework, and I have a whole set of strategies behind me. This is just not something I have experience with. And as I go through these gorgeous items, and certainly lots of things I think I'd be happy to have, lots of people would be happy to have, it just helps me understand how much more I need to learn. So I do want to give a shout out to a viewer who suggested that I watch the Old Curiosity Shop channel on YouTube. I have been. In fact, I've been pretty much binging the channel, and I've been learning so much. And if anybody who's watching this video wants to learn more about glass, I definitely recommend that channel. It's so interesting. But I think for this auction, I'm recognizing that making a bid is probably premature for the purposes of reselling. So instead, I'm just gonna take it all in. I'm sharing it with all of you so we can just get a sense of some of the stuff that's out there. And I think that's enough for today. They have some beautiful Belique pieces in this box. Everything was arranged by lot. And you had to really look through each lot with much care, because sometimes there was one or more pieces that was broken, chipped, cracked, or otherwise defective. And you could really end up with more than one dud in a group setting. So yeah, that was something that became apparent pretty quickly. I love this piece, it's so beautiful. Here's some Roseville. I actually have that pattern in my own house. I absolutely love this book. Look at this beautiful pop-up book. You know, of course, I can't tell you how much it costs because it's an auction, so you can't know ultimately how much these things will go for. So it's all a bit of an unknown, but it's fun to look through. I've seen this book before. If you've heard of the Gibson Girl, you will know that it was very much patterned after the artist Gibson, who drew these models with the very high hairdos and the tiny wasp waists and these sort of romanticized scenes. So the illustrations in this book are gorgeous. These books usually go for well over $100. Eric loves this bottle opener. It's pretty funny. We're not finding any markings on it to give us any indication of the maker. This is a lovely print. There were two of them. And this is another fun sort of Gibson Girl-esque style print. And check out this massive collection of miniature dogs. Somebody took a lot of time putting that together. We didn't know what this was, but it was very interesting. Here are some old perfume bottles. I just don't know anything about them, so we tried to turn them over and find out a little bit more, but they were a mystery.
So that was the auction. What do you think? What would you have done? Would you have bid on some of those items? The preview was several hours before the actual auction. And we did for a moment consider staying for the auction just to kind of see what things did go for and then making decisions in the moment. But we were really looking at a late night because there were so many lots, and we ultimately decided that, it was enough just to see the pretty pieces and to learn a little bit more about them. So we didn't do that, and maybe someday we will. But I have to say, I don't love in-person auctions in general. I like online auctions. I like to bid from the comfort of my own house. But there's something about having to make a really fast decision in the moment that rattles me. You get your heart set perhaps on something. Usually when I've gone to the auction, there's something that I really, really want. And so, you sit and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. There is so much sitting and so much waiting. It's hard, and it's boring. It gets boring. I think it's boring. So anyway, you're sitting and you're waiting and you're bored and your leg falls asleep and your butt falls asleep and you wait and you wait and wait. Finally, the item that you want comes up and you bid on it, and then maybe somebody else bids on it and somebody else and somebody else, and you're thinking, oh no, we're getting close to my limit. We're getting close to my limit. We passed my limit. It's gone. And you don't get the piece that you were hoping for. I guess it's like the control freak in me or something. I want to know, what's the price going to be? Am I going to go home with this thing or not? I hate investing whole big chunks of my time for an outcome that is just a question. And that's why, I don't know, I get impatient with auctions. My husband loves them. He's been to tons. He's gotten some great deals. And for him, that's like a really entertaining, fun day out. He enjoys them and he likes watching what everything goes for. It's all learning to him. For me, I don't know. I start to zone out. I start to think about what I need to buy at the grocery store. I start to think of excuses for why I won't go to the grocery store. I start to, my mind is just, it's not so much for me. Now that I have so many thrifted items coming to the house, far more than ever before, I'm trying to put some systems in place for dealing with some of this stuff because, I bring it into the house from the car and then I want to film it. And of course I need to wash it and I need to photograph it and I need to, list it, and then I need to store it, and eventually I'll need to package it. So there's so many different steps, and I just feel like the key to success here is going to be, these organized ways of processing all of this stuff so that I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't lose track of things. So I really thought that today would be well spent getting the house a little bit more organized and together so I could set up some of these systems like I was saying. And during the week, we're busy, we're running in and out. I'm thrifting, there's boxes, there's all kinds of stuff. So the house got away from me a little bit. And I definitely felt like I needed to rearrange things so I could set up a dedicated kind of photography area where I could take photographs of the items I'm selling on auction and then list them right away. So I had been just sort of draping a tablecloth over my washing machine and then just photographing things there. But I was getting shadows and they weren't looking their best, and then I'd have to take everything off to use the washing machine. So I made a number of changes that required first a little bit of cleaning and decluttering, and I'm going to show you that process.
Okay, I sincerely hope we're all friends here because I am going to show you a big old mess. So this is the laundry room, and you can see how it's fallen apart. The Ryobi is full of dog hair. Ew. And that print was my grandmother's. And you can see these shelves are just full of lots of stuff, and much of it could live somewhere else, but I need to do some reorganization. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I dry most of my clothes, so I use these drying racks a lot actually, but I don't always need so many out at once. So there's some consolidating that could happen. And this table where I have the sewing machine and the lamp and other things is where I want to take photographs. But first I probably should figure out where exactly the floor is underneath all of these piles. There's the sheet that the washing machine is under where I take pictures currently, and it's not working too well. And here's the linen closet. And you can see that blankets and quilts and pillows are just kind of spilling over the edges of things because they're not very organized, but I want to make some changes there. And here is my study where I do all of my work. And you can see I have boxes full of stuff to be listed on eBay. And piles have accumulated. Yeah, there's more eBay items. It really is messy. And I don't know about you, but I can't think when my surroundings are really cluttered and crazy looking like this. So I need to get this in hand for sure. So I'm gonna take a lot of items out of this closet so it has some more room to breathe, and I'm gonna move them to a better space. I'm taking the TV off of this antique chest so that I can actually open the top and put in some blankets that I really very rarely use, but I don't want to get rid of. There's a surprising amount of space in this piece. So if I fold everything really carefully, I can fit quite a bit in here. But I don't want the cat to live in here, so he's got to come down. And I am gonna just stuff this thing full. Nice. Give it a quick dust. Might as well while the TV is off. And the TV goes back up. Now I can reorganize this closet a little bit so I can fit in some of the tablecloths and runners that are currently in the laundry room. And that is better. It's certainly not Pinterest worthy, but it's functional and it works for me. And all of my cleaning supplies that were on the shelves in the laundry room are going in this basket that hangs on the door. Much better place for them. You can see the shelves are starting to empty. I've got to get rid of all of this wrapping paper. It doesn't need to be in the laundry room. And I just reorganized this little cabinet next to the washing machine. So again, I took some things off of the shelves in the laundry room and now they're in this little cabinet, which is much better. And you can see I moved the wrapping paper. So I'm making room so much better. And now I've taken all of my sewing machine, my actual sewing machine, my sewing supplies and craft supplies and all those things that were on the floor, and they are on the shelves so I can reach them easily. And here is the room looking so much better. And again, that's the table where I plan to take all the photographs. Eventually I'll take this tablecloth off the washing machine. I still have plenty of room for my drying racks. Yep, and this leaf folds up, so that gives me even more room for doing some eBay stuff here. It's nice and clean. It's still a usable laundry room, but now it can also double as an eBay space. Yeah, I think that works really, really well. There's a nice cleaned out cabinet. It's so much better. I also cleaned out the study. You can see the study floor as well. In these two fabric covered boxes are some of the things that I have to list for eBay, but they're not just sort of stashed in the middle of the room. I've picked up all around this pew. Yeah, it's so much better. There's still quite a bit in there, but it's very much organized chaos now.
So I was very happy with how everything turned out. I've ordered 2 lights that were recommended to me in order to take a picture without shadows and without glare. I also ordered a different kind of backdrop that I thought would work better than the tablecloth that I was using. So I'll show you all of that once I get it up and running, but I think it's gonna work out really well. And I'm definitely excited to give it a try. I can't believe I almost forgot to mention my next Worthington Wednesday online eBay auction is tonight, starting at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'll link my eBay store in the description box. So don't forget to check it out if you're interested in any of the items you've seen me thrift throughout the last few weeks. So that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe, and I hope I'll see you next time. Have a great day.